Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, doing the first of many Shadows Over Innistrad Swiss drafts, maybe in the future, maybe some 8-4s. Just a little reminder, I like to preface my very first draft of a new format by letting you know how much experience I have with the format, how much my knowledge is of the format. So I have not played any, this is going to be my actual first interaction with the set. I did not do any pre-releases in real life with paper magic or anything like that. So this is my first time playing the format. My knowledge of the format is from what I've read personally. I also listened to all 9 hours of Limited Resources podcast where LSV and Marshall systematically went through every single card in the format. So I have at least a foundational knowledge of what the cards are like in the format and basically what the synergies and the theme is. With that in mind, though, keep in mind that 10 drafts from now, there's almost a 100% chance that the choices I make here will be different than what I will make down the road. So just keep that in mind and enjoy the draft. We'll see you in a second. All right, the draft has fired. Let's see what we got here. We've got Devil's Playground. Puts 4 1/red devils when they die. Deals damage to a creature or player. Seems like a pretty good card. Let's see if it's worth anything. Always a good idea at the very beginning of a format to check prices on all cards because, okay, it's only worth 7 cents, so not a big deal. This card, when you sacrifice a clue, you get to transform it and it turns into a 3/2 prowess. And you get to investigate whenever it deals combat damage to a player. That's pretty good. Indulgent Aristocrat, 1 mana, 1/1, lifelink vamp. Sacrifice a creature, put a counter on each vampire you control. That's pretty good too. Machination seems okay. This guy is hard to kill. I like that. This guy comes in and investigates right away. That seems good. Here's a little removal spell. I actually kind of like this Merciless Resolve, too. Sacking a land in the late game to draw 2, I kind of like that. I'm okay starting it off with the rare here. I don't know how good this card is yet. It puts out a ton of bodies, and they all are pretty versatile little dudes, so I'm okay with starting it off with that. Okay. Okay. So here we have Mad Prophet. Now, from my understanding, this card's going to be exceptionally strong in the format, because we've got Madness now, and basically, in general, looter effects. This is a slightly worse looter because it's discard draw, so it's the red rummage effect. But looters in general in Limited are good. These looters, this and Reckless Scholar, are looking to be exceptionally strong because now we've actually got the capability to discard a Madness card, put it into play, and then draw a card. So it's like, it's basically just tap draw a card with Madness, which is really insane. It also feeds Delirium. So I'm thinking, and LSV was speculating that these cards are going to be exceptionally strong in the format. The other pick would be Geist Blast, which also looks very good. A little removal. I think I'm going to take this over the removal, just speculating that little Madness Enabler is going to be really good. I didn't get a chance to read the other cards because I was too busy talking about this, but hopefully that was the best one in there. Okay, what do we have now? Crow of Dark Tidings. When it enters or dies with the top... So, feeds Delirium, pretty good, and it evades. In red, we only have the Structural Distortion, which I'm not convinced we want. We've got this Werewolf, 4 mana, 3/4. Turns into a 5/6. That seems pretty good. We've got a 4 mana 3/3, and it buffs a human when it comes in. That's all right. It's a trampler too. Hound of the Farbog's only okay. This taps something, doesn't untap, and you get to investigate. I actually think that's okay too. Stern Constable, a little bit too much of a requirement. Flash Flyers are typically good. Nothing in here seems insane. I might just take the Werewolf just because it seems like, you know, the red-green Werewolf thing is an actual deck. Otherwise, Crow of Dark Tidings seems fine too, but we'll take the Solitary Hunter. All right. Could take the Howl Pack Resurgence, which is going to be good if I end up with a bunch of werewolves. Rotten Heart Ghoul. It's okay, I guess. Rabid Bite. This seems like a really good card. A fight spell, except it's one-sided. I love that the picture is the human biting the werewolf, too. I just love that. So target creature you control deals damage equal to its power target. Yeah, I think we could easily take that. Seems like it's probably the best card. Maybe Howlpack Resurgence would be better if I knew I could get a ton of werewolves. Being in red-green, there's a decent chance that happens. Wolves, too. It's not just werewolves. But I still think we want the removal spell here. This Vessel is supposedly the best one. It looks pretty good. There's Blue Vessel, too. Oh, Reduced to Ashes. Maybe actually Reduced to Ashes is better since I already have 2 red cards. It also exiles. I mean, the other one's 2 mana, but this one doesn't require that you have a creature. I don't know. Maybe the fight spell was better in retrospect. Moldgraph Scavenger. 2 mana 0/4 if you have Delirium. It gets 3 power. That's not bad. What's this Missionary do? 4 mana 3/3, and if it's equipped, you flip it. Oh, yeah. This card actually seems pretty good. Topple Guy seems very good, too. Dual Shot seems okay because it's instant speed. We've got this Madness. Bounce Spell, which seems pretty good. Gone Missing. I like, too. Plenty of good options in here. This is just this is a Madness gain control spell. I mean, I want to make the Madness thing work. Lamplighter as well. I don't know what the best card is here. I'm going to actually take the flip card because I feel like being able to exile if you have an equipment on it is pretty insane. But the equipment, I guess, is not too great in this format. We'll find out. Ulrich's Kindred. 3 mana 3/2 trample. Target attacking wolf or werewolf gains indestructible. I really like this card. Feels really good to me. Tenacity seems good too. It's like a nice offensive or defensive spell. Niblis of Dusk seems decent. Little Stallion of Ashmouth. 4 mana 3/3. And then it becomes inflatable if you have Delirium. Okay. Stoic Builder. Okay. If you're self-milling. Like works well with looter effects. We're going to take this awesome Ulrich's Kindred. I think this card's actually really good. All right, here's a werewolf. Not a particularly good one, though. Kessig Dire Swine. 6 mana 6/6, and it has trample with Delirium. Okay. I can take the Messenger. I don't think that this one is particularly good, like I said. I guess I can make it indestructible with Kindred. Take the Machinations. Guess seems okay too. Maybe the Stitchwing Scab is the best card here. 4/1 or 4 mana 3/1 flyer that's doesn't go away easily. I think we'll go for the werewolf just in case I make some sort of red-green werewolf deck come together here. Ooh, Woodland Stream. Okay. Seasons Past. Returning number of cards with different convert. Isn't that card actually good? I feel like that card is good. We'll find out if it's. I don't think it's worth anything. But I think it's actually a good card. This is instant speed buff a guy. And then you put 3 on it instead if there's 4 or more. That's not bad. I think we're going with Seasons Past. This card seems really good to me. Maybe it's not that great because it's expensive, but it feels good. Okay, Clip Wings, which is a decent sideboard card. Otherwise, Moldgraph Scavenger, which maybe is good if I make Delirium work. Not really fitting in with a green-red werewolf theme so much, but I think we'll take it anyway. Vessel of Nascency? I think I missed this one the first time around. This card seems a lot more playable in this format since we've got a Delirium for... Well, we only have 1 Delirium card so far, but... Actually, I guess it works really well with Seasons Past too, doesn't it? A couple blue cards in here that are pretty good. An Epitaph Golem, 5 mana 3/5. The ability's not that important. We'll take the Vessel here. Stoic Builder. Seems like we can take it. Otherwise, this self-mills. Otherwise, pretty mediocre equipment. Stoic Builder's pretty mediocre too. Maybe we just take the equipment. I mean, we do have the Abyssinian Missionaries. Seems like the blue cards are flowing, but neither of these blue cards are particularly insane. A 6-mana 6/6 is efficient, but it can't attack unless you've cast a non-creature spell, so it's basically a prowess effect. Guess we can take another equipment. Ooh, Gone Missing on the other hand actually seems pretty good. Alright, second to last pick, playable card. I don't know how successful we were with pack 1. I feel like we were okay. I still don't know if the Reduce to Ashes is actually better. Oh, actually, you know, I thought this was a instant. I think the fight spell was actually better in retrospect. Granted, it requires a creature, but Startled Awake. Let's see if this Mythic is worth anything, or To the Slaughter for that matter. Just making sure I'm not passing a bunch of money. Startled Awake would be 3 tickets, and To the Slaughter is what? I mean, LSV and Marshall were not super impressed with the prospect of trying to make Startled Awake work. It seems like a difficult card to make work. Byway Courier seems really good. 3 mana, 3/2. When it dies, get another card. Otherwise, there's another Solitary Hunter in here. I might just like the Courier more because die draw, but I might just take 3 tickets too here. 3 tickets, feeding more of these drafts. I mean, it looks like a fun card. It's so slow. I think we're going to take 3 tickets. Some people are probably going to be unhappy with that, but I apologize. So, yeah, I don't think this card's that good. Here's our chance to take another shot at Howlpack Resurgence. Here's a Wolf with a disadvantage, but it's also a 3 mana 3/3. We did not wheel Howlpack Resurgence last time. So we currently have 1, 2, 3. We only have 3 cards that work with it. Maybe we want the Howlpack Wolf instead. Or maybe we just take the Resurgence now and hope that we can pick up a bunch more wolves and werewolves. This lets you investigate and ramp a little bit. Not bad. Warp Landscape lets you fix. Stoic Builder, not that impressive. I think we're going to take the Resurgence. Okay, got some wolves in here. Very good. Imbrai Wolf. And, oh, that's not a wolf. Never mind. Okay. Equestrian Skill, 4 mana, +3/+3. Probably just want the Imbrai Wolf. I don't think it's insanely good. Is there anything that is insanely good in here? That doesn't seem that great. Counter with Madness seems okay. Inflatable. If you tap something you control, it seems pretty good because it's cheap. I'm okay taking Imbrai Wolf here, I guess. I mean, I guess you kind of commit to it if you take the Resurgence, huh? Is Drownyard Temple worth anything? It is kind of cool with Mad Prophet, since you can basically infinitely... Oh, no, it brings it to the battlefield. So it's only if you somehow mill it and need another land. Doesn't seem that good. Here's a Werewolf. 2 mana, 2/1. And then it turns into a 4/2 trample. That seems pretty good. Otherwise, I take a 3 mana 3/3, which also seems good, admittedly. I feel like the flip werewolf might be better because it's cheaper. But I'm not entirely sure on that. This is one of those things where you have to play the format longer to know. I mean, this can't block, so it basically can only attack. But this thing just wants to attack. We'll take the Logger. We'll try it out. I feel like when in doubt, take the cheaper one. Oh, good. More werewolves. 5 mana, 5/4, and then it turns into a 6/5 Menace, which is pretty strong. There's also another Kindred in here, though, which I feel like is really good. It is only attacking wolves or werewolves that you can make indestructible. Otherwise, there's another Reduced to Ashes as well. Current removal is just 1 Reduced to Ashes. Maybe we want a second one. I feel like at this point we have sort of committed to the red-green. werewolf deck. So 3 mana, 3/2, 5 mana, 5/4. I feel like this card is good. Or another, there's also Explosive Apparatus, but I think Reduced to Ashes is probably better. We'll take the second Reduced to Ashes. I don't know how good these are yet, but 5 damage, 5 mana, 5 damage seems pretty good. Rush of Adrenaline seems like it could be good. This is a sideboard card. Graph Mole is a 3 mana 2/4. When you sacrifice a clue, gain 3 life. I think this card is pretty good, actually. We're going to take that over the Rush of Adrenaline. This is a good, it's not thematic with our deck, but it blocks well. We don't have any Investigate yet, do we? Well, maybe we'll find some. Here's a Convicted Killer. 3 mana 2/2, which is not great. And then it just turns into a 4/4. That's not great, but there's nothing else in here that's really what our deck is looking for. So I think we're just going to take a Convicted Killer. Might Beyond Reason. All right, I mean, it's a combat trick. Not a particularly efficient one, but this buffs humans, but that only works on the front side of my werewolves. I guess I do have a couple other humans, right? The Stoic Builder. And that's it. The Mad Prophet. So we do actually have some humans. I still might just want the Might Beyond Reason. Little combat trick. I don't know how good a 4 mana 3/3 is, but we'll take the... This card actually seems pretty good, especially with werewolves. If you can push through a, you know, what's the biggest, this like 4/2 turn into a 5 trample double strike, that's pretty strong. Take it. I think actually equipment kind of goes well with werewolves because it keeps your mana busy without you casting a spell, so it allows you to flip. I actually think this card got a kind of bad rating from LSV and Marshall, but I actually think this card's probably pretty good in the late game. None of these cards seem all that good. I don't really want another Stoic Builder. I think I'm just going to take the Moorland Drifter. It seems like the best creature remaining here. All right. I don't really like Groundskeeper. I guess Pyrehound's not that good either, but it's okay maybe. It does permanently get bigger, and it's got Trample. A lot of Trample, it seems like. Wheeling the Howlpack Wolf is really nice, since it's like basically... And we got the Arsonist back, too. Nice. All right. Well, the deck is coming together. We have a deck already. What would I like to not play? I guess I don't really want to play... We're going to let someone have the Hound of the Firebogs, just to let them know we're not in black. Or if they need it, maybe they won't hate playables from us. Who knows? We're going to dump this Stoic Builder. I think I'm okay with Seasons Past still, but we'll find out how good the card is. It might just be too expensive to make use of, but it does feel like something that could be useful. I mean, it could really bring back like 3 or 4 cards to your hand, which just seems insane, especially with, like I said, Vessel of... I guess I would prefer to not play the Scavenger either. Flameblade Angel. This card is really good. We've got this Duskwatch Recruiter too, which does look really good. But I think Flameblade Angel, and there's this pack's got everything. But I think we're taking the Angel because it's just a really nice way to push through damage. Without actually, it's not worth anything, but it is just an insanely good card, I think. 6 mana 4/4 flyer. This Duelist is okay too, actually. And Geist Blast is removal. I think this Recruiter is really good, but I think the Angel is still better. We're taking all the 6 mana rares in red. Mad Prophet actually not looking that insane in art. Ooh, wait, isn't this like... Yeah, this guy's Breakneck Rider's real good. Second Harvest isn't that good. Obsessive Skinner is actually pretty good, especially with Delirium. Blood Mad Vampire, 3 mana 4/1. I actually kind of like this card. Byway Courier. I think we're going to take the Breakneck Rider. This card, like I said, just seems very strong. Our removal is very poor at the moment, so I'd like to get it up there a little bit better. Autumnal Gloom turns into a 4/4 Trample Hexproof. I mean, that's not bad. Whenever a permanent you control transforms into a non-human creature, this card seems good. How many things do I have that transform? 1, 2, They've got the little icon, I guess. So 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not horrible. It's really not horrible. Otherwise, I take the Ember Eye Wolf, which I could wheel. I do want to lower my curve. Tormenting Voice is probably playable in here too. Ember Eye Wolf in multiples seems pretty unexciting. Autumnal Gloom seems pretty bad too, though, if you can't consistently get Delirium, which I'm not sure we can. I'm going to take this Cult of the Waxing Moon. I think this card seems playable. Okay, Aim High, a little Combat Trick, Senseless Rage, which doesn't seem that great. Could take yet another Werewolf. This is not a very good one, but I don't think any of these cards really matter that much. Aim High is a Combat Trick. What are my Combat Tricks currently? I guess I don't have many, right? I've got the Double Strike one, which is probably better than Aim High, probably. Might be on Reason, so I probably have enough Combat Tricks. So let's just take another Werewolf. Make sure we have enough to justify this Howl Pack Resurgence and make our Kindred better. Didn't we have some other Wolf synergy too? Maybe not. Okay, Inner Struggle's very good. Removal spell. We'll take that over Tormenting Voice. And it's instant speed too, which is nice. So you can do it on your opponent's turn. Maybe turn off their Werewolf flip. Traverse the Uvenwald. 1 mana, search for a basic land. And if there's 4 or more, you can search for a creature or a land. That's probably just a pick here. Otherwise, it's another Moldgraph Scavenger. I'd prefer to not even play the first. I guess Traverse, most likely finding a land most of the time for us. So I might not end up playing it. Probably don't. But that's okay. Here's another Wolf. Guess we can take yet another Wolf. This card seems really good. We're going to take the Wolf. 5 mana, 4/5. Not horribly exciting. But we'll take it, I guess. Are we an 18-land deck? I kind of didn't want to be. Our curve is high, admittedly. Might be on Reason. Ooh, I actually kind of like this guy. I actually really like this guy. Cheap thing that blocks, which our deck needs, and it's a mana sink. So it's like block early or give it flying and flip your werewolves. I like that. We're going to take it over the Wicker Witch. It also counts as 2 things for Delirium, artifact, and creature. Taking it. Maybe we won't do the Seasons Past. I kind of wanted to play it just to see if it's good. 6 mana is a lot. Our curve is mostly 3 mana too. Like, is paying 6 mana to return 2 cards? I feel like this actually probably returns 3 most of the time though. We're going to take the Warped Landscape. I think we're playing it too. It fixes. God, blue definitely felt open this draft, but I think we definitely made the... I'm going to cut non-wolf creatures, I think. I don't think I need a second Vessel. So I'm going to try and lower the curve of this deck. We have no way to investigate for Graph Mole, so it's just like a 3 mana 2/4, which is okay, but not fantastic. How many things do I have to flip for Cult of the Waxing Moon? It's the best thing to hate from here. Catalog turns on Madness. I don't really care about a 2 mana 1/3 so much. I don't know if Catalog's that good though. It's okay. Maybe we just hate the Vampire card for a Vampire deck. I guess the Seagrass Scab is a zombie deck. Take the Flash Flyer. Actually, we'll take the Root out. It's a sideboard card. There's not a ton of artifacts or enchantments I care about, but we'll take it. So I think our curve is a bit worrisome. Take the Madness card. So our curve's a bit worrisome, which means I might want to just cut some of our top end here. I'm going to have to figure out what that is. Do I have enough to make this Cult of the Waxing Moon? I mean, getting more wolves is going to be good. It's going to pair well with this Howlpack Resurgence. But, well, and this transforms into non-human too. That's kind of cool. Alright, Clip Wings is a good sideboard card actually, so kind of happy we got that. How many things did we have to flip? 1, 2, 3. Hey, playable 2-drop in case we play like Omega Aggro. These actually seem like good cards to sideboard into. Just they block well. Yeah, let's do a werewolf count here, or a transform count rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seems like the appropriate amount to make the Cult of the Waxing Moon work. And what's our final wolf and werewolf count for this Howlpack Resurgence? What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 is pretty good. These Convicted Killers seem pretty bad. You end up paying 3 mana for a 2/2 that turns into a 4/4. It just does not seem particularly good. I might just want to cut the Graph Mole. I have no ways to... It's basically a 3 mana 2/4, but it doesn't synergize with the cards in my deck. Like, it doesn't synergize with the Ulrich's Kindred. I mean, it is a 3 mana 2/4, though, which is not bad. I'm not feeling great about this deck. I'm really not. I mean, we've got some removal, so we can kill some creatures, which is good. I would have wanted a little bit more. I just feel like our curve's not quite there. Something does not seem great about our deck. Seems a bit top heavy. I don't know about cutting the Seasons Pass, though. Really feels like returning 3 cards from your graveyard to your hand is very powerful, like I said. I kind of want to cut one of these Convicted Killers. It's just, it makes our Cult of the Waxing Moon worse. Maybe we just try and make that synergy work. We don't have that much Delirium, so maybe I just don't care about Vessel of Nascency. What's our Delirium? It works well with Seasons Past. But that's like it, right? Oh, I guess might be on reason. But this card is like, it doesn't even get that much better. You get 1 extra counter. Might be on reason, actually. Might just be a cut here, too. It is a combat trick, but I think between Uncaged Fury, Inner Struggle, and double Reduced to Ashes, we're going to be okay. Let's cut the Might Be on Reason. Let's cut the Vessel of Nascency. Village Messenger is pretty underwhelming too. I mean, at best, it's a 1 mana 2/2 menace, which is okay. Not even that good. It gives me something to do early is the only reason I even wanted it in here. We really have like 17 creatures if you can count the playground. See, it feels like a lot of 5-drops. Eight flip cards for Cult of the Waxing Moon is probably enough. Gives me sort of a late game plan, but you have to like flip them back and forth to really make it have value. Yeah, I feel like this deck rather is going to have some problems with some flyers. We don't really have reach. We have one flyer ourselves, and we have one clip wings. Other than that, we gotta... I don't know. I think these convicted killers are gonna be pretty disappointing. I might just want... But what do I want instead? Like a mold graft scavenger or something? So I can block early? I mean, it might just be something I want to do. I just feel like getting delirium's difficult now that I've cut the vessel. And if I cut both convicted killers at that point, I just want to cut the village messenger and then cut the cult of the waxing moon. And then I'm just sort of straying away from the... But I feel like this... The problem with this build is it just looks slow. It doesn't really start until 3. And like I said, convicted killer is just like not that good. It's a 3-mana 2/2. It's a gray ogre that turns into a 4/4. I mean, granted, it's got synergy with like Howlpack Wolf. It's got synergy with Kindred. It's got synergy with like Resurgence. That's about it, though. Guess it's got synergy with Cult of the... Maybe we just play synergies. We play bad cards for synergies. We might have to do that. If we start getting beat down by Omega aggro, we'll swap into the Moldgraft Scavenger plan. Drop the curve a little bit. Maybe I don't need the Thornhide Wolves. It basically only works with, like... I might be okay with that, actually. Cut one of our 5-drops. Especially since I want to play 17 lands. I think we're going to ditch out on the Thornhide Wolves. It basically just has synergy with Howlpack Resurgence. And we probably have enough synergies with that as it is. So we'll I think we're going to run the Scavenger as like a cheap blocker that buys us a little bit of time. And like super late game can do something maybe. Do we even have enough for Delirium? We have Creature, Instant, Sorcery. That's like it. We don't even... And Land with Warp Landscape. Getting Delirium seems very difficult with this deck, especially if we're not running the Vessel. This is going to be a 2-mana 0/4 most of the time. That's pretty bad. I can't decide how bad it is. It's probably better out of sideboard in retrospect. I still don't know if I'm sold on 18 lands in a deck like this. I guess we do have a looter effect. And we definitely want to get to our 6-drops. I don't know. I don't really have a ton of card advantage. We don't have any Investigate, which I do think makes the 18 land plan worse. I mean, most of our deck is at 3, but we do have a lot of 5-drops. 5 5-drops, 3 6-drops. Do I want to run 18 lands? What would be the weakest card in my deck to cut? See, if I run 18 lands, I want to have a high curve. So maybe I just drop, like, one of the killers. Could drop the Messenger. Messenger actually seems worse than the killer in this deck, oddly enough. Just because it's like a 1-mana 1/1 that I don't care about. And we're not beating down. I'd rather have the Gargoyle, honestly. A 1-mana 2/2 that turns into a 4/2 flyer late. All right, I think we're going to cut the Messenger. This is a mana sink. This thing just looks better than that. The killers are probably even in power level to Messenger, I would think. They're both going to be not that great, but at least this could potentially turn into a 4/4 where this turns into a 2/2. So this could like block in the mid game. This is strange, but I'm running 18 lands now because I'm going to hope that hope that our 5 and 6 drops get us the card advantage we need. Other than that, I guess we're going to air towards... No, I'm not going to air that much. I think we're going to do 9/8 with the Warp Landscape, which is really like 10/9, which I think is good. Okay. Yeah, I I'm not familiar enough with the format to evaluate this deck, but I can't imagine it's fantastic. I think it's only mediocre. I'd probably give it a high D just based on the way that it looks. I don't want to give it a crazy good rating. I don't think I can. So I'm going to give it a high D. We'll give it like a 67%, but we'll maybe even 65%, just straight D. We'll see how it does though. We'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1.